Welcome to the Course Map Challenge. I'm so glad that you're here, and I cannot wait to see what you create at the end of the 5 days. Now, I am doing this a little bit differently than I normally run a challenge, and I am giving you guys all of the strategy on day 1. So inside of this masterclass video, you're going to get all of the strategy on why we're doing what we're doing throughout the challenge right now. And then we're going to take each day of the challenge and actually go through and do it together. So let's get straight into this masterclass video. I don't want to waste any time, so let's get started. As I said, in this masterclass video, I'm going to take you through the actual whys and hows of what we're doing throughout the rest of the challenge. So we are mapping out your course, and it's going to be really fun. And guys, if my voice sounds a little crazy, I'm a little sick, so I'm really sorry for that. But we're going to map out your course. Why are we doing this? Why are we mapping it out? Why are we outlining it? Why is that important? Because you don't need to start a course or start something this big without having a checklist or something to follow. So outlining will help you battle that fly by the seat of your pants approach that so many entrepreneurs take. Y'all, I'm so guilty of this. I used to just, I'm going to create a course today. Like, no joke. And so I would sit down and not do anything. I just had haphazardly, I'm going to record the videos, and then I'm going to record screenshot videos, and then I'm going to record this other thing, and it just never worked out well. So I promise you that even if your personality is very type B like mine, that outlining helps so much. So tap into that type A part of yourself, and that's what we're going to do throughout this challenge. Now, if you're already type A, I think that this will help you really see exactly what goes into course creation, because it may not be as simple or as intricate as you're thinking. Okay, outlining helps with 2 things. It helps you realize that it's totally doable to do the thing, and it helps you start to take action, okay? That's number 1. That's what it helps you with. Helps you realize that this overwhelming task of creating a course is actually not that bad. So you can see that it's doable, and you can start taking action because you've outlined it, right? The other thing outlining does is it helps to show you exactly how much there is to get done so you can plan appropriately. Now, these 2 different things are pretty well opposites. One says, totally doable, there's not much to get done. And then the other says, holy crap, there's so much I need to get done. I need to plan this out. But that's what outlining helps with. It helps us really realize that it's doable, even though there are quite a few steps, because if we outline it and plan it correctly, it's easily done. Okay? Now, I want you to think of everything. All of those steps you're thinking of, think harder. So something that a lot of us do is, so if I'm going to record a course, or if I'm going to produce a course, I need to record the videos, and I need to make the text notes, and I need to make the workbook, or, whatever. But we forget about the smaller steps and sometimes lump things into bigger steps. So there's 2 lists that you'll end up making throughout this challenge. The first one is the big steps list. That is, film videos, create text notes, create workbook, upload to YouTube. Just big steps that need to get done. Then we're going to make a smaller step list. We're going to take all of those big steps and break them down even smaller. So instead of saying film videos, it will be film video A, film video B, film video C, film videos of me, film videos of screencast, film masterclass video, film this, film that. So it's very, very intricate, yet it will help so much. So breaking it down even further might be, and we will talk about this on the Smaller Steps Day of the Challenge, which is tomorrow. But breaking it down even further will be, okay, upload it to YouTube. Okay, upload video number 1 to YouTube. Upload video number 2 to YouTube. Or upload video number 1 to Thinkific or wherever you're hosting your course. So we're going to take that big step list and really, I'm going to help you really break it down, because so many people forget about the tiny little steps, like hooking that course to the sequence it needs to be hooked to in ConvertKit, or hooking that course to the payment processor. So there are so many little steps that people just neglect, and that's where I want to really help you outline everything in this challenge. So we'll have two lists throughout the challenge, the big steps and the small steps. Then we're going to organize the list. We're going to set up the process. So we'll say, okay, we need to film videos. We need to film video A. We need to film video B. We need to upload to Thinkific. We need to, hook text notes in Thinkific, all of these things. And we will organize the process in a way where we know these things need to be done first, second, third, fourth, etc. Then we will put it in a checklist. We will put it in a checklist so that you can visibly see when something gets done. This is a super important part, because there's nothing like the gratification of checking things off and feeling like you're making headway. Then, inside of this organize the list process, I want you to find a platform to host your list that you love. So I use Trello, and I love me some Trello, but you can use Asana, an old-fashioned notepad, Evernote, a list on your phone, just somewhere that you can actually put the checklist and actually check things off so that you can go through the process and get things done and check them off, so you know exactly what's getting done and that you won't miss anything. Next, I want you, I don't want you, you will, because we're doing this together in a challenge. We will create a launch plan. A lot of people think, oh, I just need to create the challenge, or I just need to create the course. I just need to create the checklist. I need just to create everything that goes into creating the course. But if you don't have a launch plan set up, nobody's going to buy that course, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to create a launch plan, and we're going to break down the steps of that launch plan and put it in the checklist and do the other steps as well. So, maybe on your checklist, it might say film videos. And then on that same day, it might say start promoting on Instagram or whatever. But we're going to create a launch plan so that at the same time you're creating the course, you're also thinking about that launch plan and figuring out how you're going to get this out into the hands of the people that need it. Okay. So we're going to talk through what your launch strategy is. So are you going to do webinars or challenges or ads or social media or whatever? You need to determine what you think would benefit your audience the best, and then we'll write down all those steps. So to get into a little bit of the strategy here, if your audience is very receptive to webinars and workshops and things like that, then a webinar might be a really good way to get people in the door and get them to see what you're creating. If a webinar seems really overwhelming to you, or you've just never done one before, or something just doesn't feel perfect about it, right? Then you might consider a challenge, or your audience might be more receptive to a challenge. So let's say that you are a mom and you're a mom coach and your audience is moms. So webinar is going to come across kind of funny, right? Like those words do not resonate with that audience. So a challenge might resonate with them more because they're used to seeing things like 30 days of paleo or Whole30 or a challenge from Beachbody. Like they're used to seeing these words. So a challenge might resonate with that audience more. Then I want you to think about if you are running ads to your webinar or your challenge, because your launch strategy is not, and I promise this, and we're going to talk about this on the launch strategy day of the challenge. Your launch strategy is not put it out there and hope people buy it. It is also not run Facebook ads straight to the sales page. I can promise you that, okay? We're going to talk about that in the launch strategy portion of the challenge. So then you could also decide, what social media platforms you're going to launch on, what you're going to promote on, and all of that. And once you've decided all of that, we're going to write it all down, break it all down, and put all the steps in the same place we're putting all the steps for the actual course. Now, once we have all the steps for the course and for the launch strategy, we're going to schedule it all out. Like legit. Like open our calendar and schedule it all out. Okay, so I want to launch on this day. Then we're going to work backwards and we're going to figure out when all of these other things are going to happen. So that is one of the last days of the challenge. We're going to open up our calendar and we are going to reasonably schedule everything out. And I say reasonably because I am the world's worst to be like, oh, I'll launch that in a week. Sure. But it's not actually reasonable to do that. So we're going to reasonably schedule out everything that we've come up with from your small list and your launch strategy and actually put it in a calendar, because then it doesn't feel so overwhelming. It just doesn't feel so hard to do. That is the key here, is that, running all these checklists and all of this, when we schedule it out, that's the part where it's like, oh, I can do that. Like I can schedule this. Like I can record one video today, right? Like I can record or make the slides for my webinar today. Like those things don't feel so daunting when you break them out and you schedule them reasonably. Okay, so let's review. This is what we're doing in the challenge. We are coming up with our big list, the big list of things that need to get done, the broad steps, the record videos, upload to YouTube, decide on platform, all of those, like the big list. The smaller steps are what we're going to take from the big list. We're going to say, okay, so instead of record videos, it's record video A, record video B, edit video A, edit video B. So we're going to break that big list into way smaller steps. Then we're going to organize all of the smaller steps in a way where we can see them all listed out and nothing feels overwhelming. Then we're going to check things off because y'all, checking stuff off is fun. So then after we got all the course list set up and we're ready to really crack down on the course, we're going to strategize a launch plan. And we're going to take the time to break down the steps inside the launch plan. So then we'll also schedule those out and organize those and check those off. Then on the last day of the challenge, we're going to open up our calendar and schedule out every single piece of this course you want to create. I mean, every piece. So that's going to be so awesome. Now, your homework today, on day 1 of the challenge, I want you to make that big, broad list. Remember, everything you can think of to create a course in big, broad steps. So, an example of this is, I want to create a course, and it's all going to be videos of myself talking at the camera, and I'm going to host it on Thinkific, okay? So those are my steps, or my outline, I guess. So the steps that would go into that, the big broad steps are record videos, edit videos, then upload to Thinkific, outline in Thinkific, create sales page. Those are the big broad steps, right? There's only 5. So They're really big, broad steps, but then tomorrow we're going to break those down even further. And I'm going to give you a map to help you say, okay, if this is one of your steps, then remember that these things all go into that. So I'm going to give you a map to help you figure all that out. So that will come to you in your inbox tomorrow with day 2 of the challenge. So day 1, make the big broad list. Think about your course and what it's going to look like. Think about who's going to view it, how you're going to produce it, all of those things, and make the big broad list. I need to film the videos. I need to put it on YouTube. I need to, whatever. Make that big broad list. If you are struggling with what your big broad list is, head over to the Facebook group, BizTech Collective. I'm just letting you guys answer questions or ask questions in there for this challenge. So BizTech Collective is the name of my Facebook group, and ask the question. Say, hey, this is my course. What are my big broad steps that go into this? This is what my platform looks like. And if you don't feel comfortable putting it in the Facebook group, email us. So it's contact@theheyjessica.com. Contact@theheyjessica.com. So I can help you come up with your big broad list. That's what this challenge is for me to be able to help you as much as I possibly can. All right. So this is the masterclass video. This is taking you through exactly what we're going to do inside of the challenge. So now, once you've got this homework done for day 1, you can be ready to really rock out days 2 through 5. And at the end of day 5, you are going to have everything ready so that there is no excuse for you not to create this course.